Rodney Downs here from Marksmen Challenge. Last week I had a chance to fly down to Texas and meet Jacob and Lisa Bynum of Rifles Only, who sponsor our match. I spent a week down there taking their 5-day Precision 1 and 2 rifle course with my buddy Asian Dave, who you will know from U.S. squads. Met a lot of great people, had a great time, and while we were down there, Jacob gave us a sneak peek of a new product that Rifles Only is about to start producing. Right now they're calling it the Shooter's Book. I don't know if that'll be the name once they get it on their website, but for now that's what we're going to call it. So this is going to be a first look. Nobody's ever seen this before, of their new shooter book. I'll go over it, give you a little bit of details. Then we have some video of Jake explaining a little bit of it, and some more video of Jake going over the data cards that go with it. So here we have, this is the Rifles Only shooter book. Many of you may have seen some of the ammo books on the market. I know of one. Don't know if there are more than one, but I know that there is one out which has 4 ammo strips here, so you can hold 40 rounds of ammo. The idea behind this, the 40 rounds versus 50 rounds, a lot of guys that reload prefer to have 50 rounds or 100 rounds, I guess. 50 would be ideal. But the reason to have 40 rounds is because that gives you 2 boxes of factory ammo with no leftovers. We have Velcro on the back, Velcro closure. Inside, we have Velcro on both sides. You have 4 strips of Velcro here. Each one of these Velcro strips can hold one of these, which holds a data card. You have a Velcro closure here to slide your cards in. Then stick it on here, wherever you want. Just up there. Then they have these 10-round ammo loops, I guess you would call them, which you can stick on any configuration you want. Just playing around with it, you can put .60 rounds of 223. Unfortunately, I only have 4 strips, so I can't load it all up. But you could actually fit 60 rounds of 223 in here, 32 aside, or the same loops. This is my 338. You could do the same sort of thing where you stagger the 338, and you could fit 40 rounds of 338 in here. Or just playing around with this earlier, you could put 50 cal in here, and you could probably fit 10 or 12 50 cal rounds in here. They're also coming out with a pouch for a Kestrel, so you can throw a Kestrel in the book also. You have, these are 308 rounds, by the way, just to show you how those look also. So you have room for 4 of these data cards. For 223 you could get up to 60 rounds in here, I think, would be just fine. Probably closer to 40 308s or 338s, anything larger than 223. This data book, not only do you have your data card here that you can put in up to 4 of these in the book, but if you need to leave the book somewhere, and say you're at a match and you just need your data card, you just slap it on your wrist, and there you go. Now you've got your data card on your wrist. You have one on each wrist, I guess, if you wanted. Here's a little video of Jake showing us the shooter book for the first time.
On the cards, we've made these fit right into our little data holders, so that can go in here. And again, I can stack a bunch of these behind here if I need to, and it's not going to hurt anything at all. If I need to put some more in here so I can keep track of them. I'll get you in there later. But at any rate, I can go in with my book here, and it's going to fit in there. Now, with these books, they have Velcro on here, so they slap right onto our shooting mats. And so it'll be stuck Velcro right there. I've got all my information. I can come right over here. I can pull this out. I've been shooting 5.56 lately, so I've got these 5.56 bullet holders. Velcro, come here. If I need to pull this out and stick it on my backpack or some other place that I have Velcro, I can. Not a big deal. Then, if it does turn out that I actually have to leave, I can rip this out and slap it on my wrist, and there it is. And again, I just thought y'all might want to see that. Thus endeth the lesson.
I was told in the first 1 minute.
What now?
I was told in the first 1 minute, as you can see. Lisa's good.
Awesome, awesome. But we got these cards that are available too. Oh, and they are right in the rain paper, so if you feel like you got to spit on them, or if you're going to go shoot in the rain.
Oh, okay.
Not me. I typically, if it's raining outside, I want to be watching soap operas and eating bonbons and drinking beer. But if you're part of the if it ain't raining, we ain't training crowd, we can accommodate.
Sweet.
Okay, you'll see in the video with Jake that his book was in camo. Mine's in green. I think they have it in coyote. They have it in tan. They have it in OD green, black, camo, I believe. So you get to choose, and each one of the modular pieces also comes in each one of the camo colors. So you can custom tailor it the way you like. So it's completely modular. You can buy the pieces that you want. All of it's sold separately. The data cards are sold separate. There's other pieces that will go in here also. And like I said, they just came out with a new Kestrel pouch, which they didn't have when I was down there last week, but now they do. Here is a copy of the data card. And I have a little bit of video where Jacob explains quite a bit about how to use his data card, why he has the fields on there that he has. Okay, so there you have it. That's the shooter book from Rifles Only. You can also see a review from Asian Dave on the US Squad's YouTube channel coming out soon. I'd like to thank Rifles Only for the chance to come down and go through their course. It was a great time. Jake and Lisa are great people. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe, watch our other videos, check out Asian Dave's videos on US Squads, and I'll see you on the firing line. Stick around and I'll show you the video of Jake explaining his data cards.
Now, on this one right here, this is one of the cards that I'd had before, and this one was done, you get these from Horus Vision, they'll send them to you, or if you buy a scope, you get them. And basically what it is it's just giving you your distance, your elevation, your wind, and your lead. What I did here is this is just a day going out and getting dope, so I went through 100 through 1,000, right there, this is all 6.5 Creed stuff. And then after that, I had some of the UKD targets that are out there, and I think the 528 was the one that we were shooting today, and it's the one that y'all did on the UKD stuff. So I got that one in there, then various other distances. And if you go back to your normal data books, what happens is you'll find that I'm in there, what am I using? I'm using the stuff to where I can go and write my distances on what I'm shooting. So what I did is I came up with this thing, and it's going to kind of give me just the information that I need and nothing that I don't. So it's a location right there where I am. It doesn't matter what you put on there. You could put North America, or you could put the specific county or specific range or whatever. The date. Whenever I'm doing this, I'm not real concerned about having the exact date, but what I am concerned about as it relates to the location, is it winter or is it summer? That way I can kind of know, I kind of get a general idea of what the dope is going to be during that time. This time of the day basically just gives me where my light is, things of that nature. Then density altitude. Most of the ones on the data book sheets, they have a place for temperature, barometric pressure, humidity, all this other stuff. Well, the density altitude number is the one I'm looking for. Pretty well everybody's running a Kestrel now, and density altitude simply means what altitude does the bullet think it is. I mean, if I'm out here in the summertime in Rifles Only, we might have a density altitude of 5,000 feet. Knowing full well we're at 78 feet above sea level, the bullet thinks it's flying at 5,000 feet because it's so hot. So that's the number I'm looking for. I don't need all that extra stuff, and my Kestrel will give it to me pretty much immediately. Then I'm getting it down here and it's a target designation. Well, here at Rifles Only, in a lot of different places that I've shot, you know, here as well as different countries, you will have your targets labeled in some fashion. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, or it's going to be A, B, C, D, whatever. I can put that target designation in here, the range to that target, the wind that I'm going to use, and then I put this bearing in here because a lot of times, if I needed, if not necessarily me, but if someone else is using this and they need to pass this sheet off to another shooter, and he comes down here and looks at his little range card section, what he can do is say, all right, well, he goes right here and that's 270 degrees. So automatically he can orient himself straight west, and then he can go in and put his different targets. So these ranging rings that are in here, I can designate those as 50 meters or 100 meters, 150, or I can go in right off the bat, 200, 400, 600, whatever the case may be, whatever scale I want to use, I get to choose the scale that goes on there. And so now I can come in and I can make a little sketch here on, you know, a fence line or a house or some sort of structure, a funny looking rock, whatever the case may be. But I'm putting that bearing there. That way if I do have to go in this direction and it looks like, okay, this first target over here is going to be kilo, and kilo is 610. And the wind is typically going to be, if I'm looking at this right there, sorry, that's a 5 o'clock wind. We don't know how fast it's going to be, but we do know which general direction it's coming from. Then the bearing and the adjustment that I'll use. So if I look at that and kilo is right over here, kilo target, so 270, and then I've got these other markers here. And actually these markers here are all in 5-degree increments. But I could designate those as 10-degree increments, or I could 15 or whatever case. I've got these little marks here to let me know what's going on. So if I do have to pass this, and again, not necessarily me, but someone in the field, have to pass this off to someone else, they can orient themselves based off of the compass and get going. Now, notes up here, it could be anything. The reason that I didn't want to say, all right, here is where every bit of, I wanted to leave the information in there. There could be something that is so specific to what you're doing that there's no way I can predict what it is. It's just you get in the field and you have to decide what's important. So now you have a nice good place up here that you can put that information that is relevant to what you're doing at that time. Mission specific stuff, anything about this. You can start, you can put some activity logs in here. The police snipers could use this if they're doing any sort of surveillance, you know, the observers guys. I can come in here. It could be anything, you know, it could be activity log, it could be descriptions of people, it could be descriptions of gear, descriptions of a home. In other words, I wanted to have plenty of room that you could write the stuff. In other words, if I have a data book, there's only slots in there for the information that data book wants you to put in there. Well, the reality is the data book isn't where I am or where someone who's actually using these cards is. So it may not have that spot. I wanted to leave plenty of room in there. Moving on to this would be something if you're in the field, you can use that one. On this one, I already made it up. And so what this is essentially our moving chaos drill. And this moving chaos drill is pretty well done with a 308. Right up here, location is RO in September. It's just afternoon, and my density altitude is right at 3,000, 2.9. Then my target designation. We always know we're going to start out with Mike first. That's the mover. Then Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee, and then back to Mike. So the distance to Mike is 400. Distance to Whiskey is 210. Distance to X-Ray is 315. Yankee is 545, and then again back to the mover at 400. So I have that. I put the wind, basically 130 at 10 miles an hour, so I can kind of figure out what's going on with that. I don't have to go in there and do any sort of formula. If it's coming from 130 and I know that I'm looking pretty well at 270, I know what I have to do for the wind there, and it's going to be prevailing. So again, the adjustments that I'm going to use over here. At Mike, that's going to be my zero, because I know I'm going to use a 400-yard zero. Whiskey, I'm 1.5 mils low. X-Ray, I'm 1 mil low. Yankee, I'm 1.75 high, and then back to mover or Mike at 0. And then I can just explain it. Rifles only moving chaos drill, multiple engagements, multiple distance. 2 movers, 2 shots if needed at each. Use a 400-yard 0 and hold. Completion time is 1 minute. So on that, because I have this space up here, and I've drawn this, and it's got, you know, the different yard markers on here, but I've also drawn a picture of my reticle. I know that 0 is going to be there. Okay, Whiskey's 1.5 low. That's where I'm going to hold my target, right there at 1.5 low. X-Ray, I'll hold that at 1 low. Yankee will be out here, it's 1.75 high, and then back. That's the whole drill. So if you're coming to a competition, you get your competition book, and it's kind of explaining it to you. You can make one of these for each of the stages that you're completing. Does that make sense? And so, again, while this here is extremely helpful, there's some more information than I need on, there's more information that I need that's not on here, but this has less information than if I had a big data book that I got to carry around.